Well, you're right. There were certain items such as used car prices where there was a normalization of prices, and therefore the US core inflation came in somewhat lower than expected, and we may have seen the peak in overall inflation. However, I don't expect any meaningful decline in US inflation going forward. The US economy is overheated, and you can see that the wage growth is picking up significantly. Therefore, the US is likely to continue to face a severe inflation problem despite some moderation in inflation in the next coming months.
When it comes to inflation, there's so much talk about when inflation will peak and if inflation has peaked. But to what extent is the peak actually what matters versus the stickiness of inflation and the extent to which it's broadening?
Put it this way, when you go back to the 70s, you can see that there were peaks within the 70s. That means inflation usually does not follow a straight line. Therefore, up and downs are normal. But I would not expect that any moderation of inflation in the meantime sends the right signal, insofar as I expect the US will continue to face high inflation in the years to come.
We do have the ECB, of course, tomorrow, not expecting anything big in the way of decisions, Jörg, but what about more ammunition? There is certainly more ammunition out there for a more hawkish tilt.
Yeah, you are right. We do not expect any decision on rates, anything concrete here. But you are right. When you follow the speeches by ECB officials, you can see they are not only the hawks which argue in favor of rate hikes in the second half of the year. Also, more centrist central bankers talk about higher interest rates, and even the DAFs do not rule out. Therefore, there is a tendency within the ECB Council that they have to do something against high inflation, that they have to act in order to avoid a situation where high inflation rates lead to a further increase in inflation expectations. However, they are not yet ready to act because they would like to see whether the Western countries impose an oil and gas embargo on Russia, and this will certainly cause a recession, and I think then the ECB would not deliver in terms of rate hikes.